London, 1834. The city is bustling, the air thick with the energy of a nation on the brink of change. Suddenly, disaster strikes. The old Palace of Westminster is engulfed in flames. It's a catastrophe, but also a rare chance to start fresh, to reimagine the very heart of British power. Out of the ashes, the British government makes a bold decision. Let's build something grand, something that will stand the test of time and inspire generations. And this time, let's add a clock tower so big and so loud, it becomes impossible to ignore. No one will ever be late for tea or for Parliament again. The goal? To create a symbol of power, British ingenuity, and the world's most impressive public clock. A monument that would echo across the globe. The design competition was fierce. Imagine the architectural Super Bowl, with the best minds in Britain vying for the chance to leave their mark on history. The brief was clear: make it Gothic, make it grand, make it unforgettable. Every detail had to impress, from the soaring spires to the intricate stonework. The clock tower wasn't just an add-on, it was the centerpiece, the crown jewel of the new design. London was booming, the Industrial Revolution was transforming the city, and a massive, state-of-the-art clock would show the world that Britain was leading the way into the future. This was about more than telling time. It was about controlling it, about making a statement that Britain was a nation of order, progress, and ambition. The old palace was gone, but from the ruins a new icon would rise, one that would come to define London's skyline. The Elizabeth Tower, what we now call Big Ben, wasn't an afterthought. It was the main event, the centerpiece everyone would recognize. Soon, it would become more famous than the building it was attached to, drawing visitors from around the world and appearing on countless postcards. But building it? That would be a whole new challenge, one that would test the limits of Victorian engineering and imagination. The stage was set for one of London's most ambitious projects ever, a feat that would require vision, skill, and a bit of daring. And it all started with a fire, a vision, and a dream for something bigger, something that would stand as a symbol of resilience and hope for centuries to come. You need a legendary team for a legendary clock tower. Enter Charles Barry, the architect with the grand vision, and Augustus Pugin, the Gothic genius who obsessed over every detail. Barry managed the big picture. Pugin poured his soul into the design, making the tower a true Gothic masterpiece. Their partnership was brilliant and stressful, but the clock itself? That was a different beast. The government demanded the world's most accurate clock, within 1 second a day. Most clockmakers laughed it off, but Edmund Beckett Denison, a lawyer and amateur clockmaker, took up the challenge. Denison was brilliant, stubborn, and loved a good argument. He teamed up with Edward John Dent, a master clockmaker. Denison designed, Dent built, and together they created a revolutionary mechanism. Denison's double, three-legged gravity escapement made the clock incredibly accurate. It was a partnership of visionaries, egos, and innovation. Against all odds, they built a clock that would set the global standard. The dream team, drama and all, changed timekeeping forever. Denison and Dent's clock wasn't just accurate, it was a marvel of Victorian engineering, a true testament to human ingenuity and craftsmanship. When it was first installed, it set a new standard for public timekeeping, and it's still impressing us today. Big Ben has 4 giant faces, each 23 feet across, bigger than a double-decker bus. These faces are visible from miles away, making the clock a beacon for Londoners and visitors alike. Each face is a puzzle of 312 opal glass pieces framed in cast iron. The glass glows at night, illuminated from behind, giving the tower its iconic nighttime presence. The numbers are 2 feet tall, the minute hands stretch 14 feet, longer than a car. Imagine the precision needed to move something that size with perfect accuracy. Every year, those hands travel the distance from London to Paris and back. That's over 900 miles, just in circles, year after year. At the base, a Latin inscription prays for Queen Victoria's safety, a royal touch that connects the clock to its era and its monarch. But the real magic? Accuracy, maintained by a stack of old pennies. It's a charmingly simple solution to a complex problem. Add a penny, the clock speeds up, remove one, it slows down. Each penny changes the clock's timing by just fractions of a second per day. It's a low-tech fix for a high-tech problem, and it's worked for over 150 years. No computers, no fancy electronics, just physics and a little bit of tradition. The pendulum, swinging every 2 seconds, is fine-tuned by these coins. Even the smallest adjustment can keep the clock perfectly on time. It's a delicate dance, hundreds of feet above London. The keepers of the clock must climb up regularly to check and adjust. ensuring everything runs smoothly. So next time you see Big Ben, remember, its legendary precision comes down to a handful of spare change, and the dedication of those who care for it. Sometimes the simplest solutions are the most brilliant. In a world obsessed with technology, Big Ben reminds us that elegance can be found in simplicity. That's the genius of Big Ben, a timeless masterpiece ticking away above the city. The big in Big Ben? That's the bell. Not the tower, not the clock, just the mighty bell itself hidden high above London's busy streets. The first great bell, cast in 1856, was a 16-ton giant until it cracked before ever ringing over London. Imagine the disappointment after all that effort. They melted it down and tried again, determined to get it right, pouring their hopes into a second attempt. The second bell, cast in 1858, weighed 13.5 tons, slightly smaller, but still a true heavyweight. Hauling it up the tower took 18 hours of winching, an epic feat of Victorian engineering and teamwork. It rang for the first time in July 1859, then cracked 2 months later. Disaster struck again, threatening the bell's future. Instead of recasting, they rotated the bell, used a lighter hammer, and filed a patch around the crack. Ingenious solutions for a stubborn problem. That's why Big Ben's Bong is so unique. A beautiful imperfection, a sound shaped by history and human hands. The sound of London is, technically, a slightly broken bell, yet it's that flaw that gives it character and charm. Alongside the Great Bell are 4 quarter bells, playing the Westminster Quarters melody every 15 minutes, marking time for the city. The tune grows longer as the hour approaches, culminating in Big Ben's deep, resonant chime, a moment everyone waits for. Since 1923, the BBC has broadcast those bongs worldwide, making Big Ben's voice famous far beyond London. The bell's story is one of drama, resilience, and a little bit of luck. Through war, weather, and time, it has endured. Its voice is instantly recognizable, a soundtrack for the city, echoing through generations and across the world. Big Ben's chime is more than a sound, it's a symbol of London's spirit, pride, and endurance. Even its flaws have become part of its legend, a reminder that perfection isn't always necessary for greatness. The bell survived, and so did its song. Through every challenge, its music endures. That's why it's the star of the show, an icon with a story as grand as its sound. Even Big Ben has off days. In 1976, a major breakdown silenced the clock for 9 months, the longest nap in its history. Weather's been a troublemaker too. In 1962, snow and ice slowed the hands, making London ring in the new year 10 minutes late. Birds have even stopped the clock. A flock of starlings once perched on the minute hand, slowing it by 4.5 minutes. More recently, Big Ben went quiet for 5 years during a massive restoration project. The silence was a reminder of how much Londoners rely on its steady chime. When the bongs returned in 2022, it felt like the city's heartbeat was back. Even the most reliable clocks need a break. But every time Big Ben goes silent, its return is a celebration. It's proof that even icons need a little TLC. And when it wakes up, London feels whole again. Big Ben isn't just a clock, it's a witness to history and a magnet for odd stories. During World War II, the clock faces were blacked out, but the chimes rang on, a symbol of defiance. The tower even has a prison cell, once used to lock up unruly members of parliament. It leans slightly northwest thanks to decades of underground construction, a subtle imperfection. And the name? Technically, Big Ben is the bell, not the tower, which was renamed Elizabeth Tower in 2012. But everyone still calls it Big Ben. Theories about the name abound. Maybe it's after Sir Benjamin Hall, maybe a famous boxer. No one knows for sure, and that mystery just adds to its charm. Big Ben is full of quirks, stories, and secrets. That's what makes it unforgettable. After all the drama, why does Big Ben still matter? It's the wallpaper of London, instantly recognizable worldwide. It's survived wars, governments, and cultural shifts, connecting past and present. The sound of its bongs is a daily ritual, a symbol of stability and home. Built without modern tech, it set a new global standard for accuracy and beauty. It's a monument to ambition, craftsmanship, and stubborn perseverance. Big Ben stands above politics, uniting people from all walks of life. Tourists and locals alike look up in awe, sharing a moment of wonder. It's a piece of art, a feat of engineering, and a symbol of unity. In a divided world, everyone agrees. Big Ben is pretty cool. It brings people together, reminding us of what we can achieve. Sometimes, a clock is more than just a clock, and that's why we still look up.